All right, mic check, mic check. All right, let's see who we have on here today. All right. What's up, Soccer? What's up, Little? What's up, Lily? All right, we're going to get started in a minute. Please share this live with all of your people because we're going to cook today. Today is Technical Thursday, so we're going to cook today. What's up, Aaron? Appreciate you tapping in. We're going to give another minute. We're going to get started. Give some people some time to get in. Please share with at least 3 people. I'm going to grab some water real quick. All right, we're going to get started because we're going to cook today. I'm not going to hold you guys at all. All right. I'll just do a small recap when more people join in between time. All right. What's up, Drees? Appreciate you tapping in. All right, y'all. Welcome to Market Heat. If you're tired of chasing momentum or trading with no edge, this is where clarity begins. All right. Here I'll break down tickers from my perspective so you can view them from a different lens. All right. Peace and blessings to you, Queen. Now, understand any information shared today is not financial advice. Well, why? Because I'm not a financial advisor. What's up, Deb? I am doing well. How about yourself? Right. So I am not a financial advisor. So understand that this information is not financial advice. I'm only speaking on my view of the market. Okay. Very, very important. Now, if you are new to Instagram and YouTube, please make sure you take the time to like the content, share, subscribe, and follow. Right. The more likes, the more this feeds into the algorithm, the more this information or the more the channel gets shared on other people's feeds. All right. So please make sure you do that. Like, share, follow, and subscribe on YouTube, and follow and like on Instagram. All right. So for those who are on here, who are on Instagram, my YouTube is at Market Heat. And for those of you who are on YouTube, my Instagram is at market_heat. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, today's Technical Thursday episode is sponsored by none other than the bootcamp. It is going down next week in 5 days, September 22nd through September 26th. All right. Today, I will be looking at 7 tickers specifically asked by the individuals that are currently in the Stock Market Boot Camp 3. So I will only be going over those specific tickers. All right. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understood that for today. Also, next week, I will not be live. I will send a reminder about how I will not be live, because my focus will be on everyone that is in the boot camp for next week. All right. You guys will be getting 100% of me. So I want to make sure I give you 150. All right. So again, I will not be going live next week. All right. The focus will be on the boot camp. All right. If you have not joined the boot camp as of yet, the opportunity is there for you to do so. The link is in my bio, right? You have the opportunity to use discount code LOCKIN. All right. I also had an additional discount code up, which allowed you to not only bring a friend for free, right? You heard me say it, FREE. The opportunity was for you to bring somebody for free, right? That discount was only up for 24 hours. If you saw it in my stories and you didn't take advantage of it, I really wish you would have, right? Not only were you able to bring somebody for free, but you also got a discount on the price, okay? So not only did you get the opportunity to lock in for free, you also had the opportunity to get a discount on the price. So it would have made a great opportunity for someone that you know that can benefit from this information. All right. So again, if you want to lock in to the Stock Market Bootcamp for next week, the link is in my bio, and use the discount code LOCKIN, LOCKIN. All right. All right. Let's get down to business. All right. So first off, the first ticker I will be looking at today is going to be, as a matter of fact, let me put it on the bottom of the screen. What's up, O? What's up, Insured? What's up, Kenneth? Oops, didn't want to do that. Give me a second. I'm going to put the tickers at the bottom of the screen. So in case when people come on, they will see what we are looking at. And if they missed anything, I'll just do a brief towards the end. Give me a second. Actually, should have did this earlier. I didn't even think about it. And for those who are just joining, as I mentioned, I am only looking at 7 tickers today, and these tickers were chosen by the current members of the Bootcamp Part 3, okay? I will not be looking at any other tickers outside of these 7. And I'm going to put the 7 on the bottom of the screen. All right, so these are what we will be looking at today, all right? Just so you are aware. All right, cool. So let's get started. All right, so first ticker up is AVGO, which is also known as Broadcom. All right. So as you can see, Broadcom is up almost 1% today. All right. And so everything we're looking at today, we are going to be looking at from a swing perspective. All right. This is not for day traders. All right. We are going to looking at this from a swing perspective. Okay. So I will be looking at everything from a daily, weekly, and maybe even monthly perspective. Okay. So I just want to make sure we understand that. All right. So as you can see, Avgo is up almost 1% today, right? Let me spread this out a little bit. See, I already have my levels drawn up, okay? Now, if Avgo, well, first off, let's take a look at Avgo. Let's do a deeper dive on Avgo as to why they are showing some positive movement today, all right? Now, of course, you guys know I always like to make sure I find out what's happening in the streets before I start making any type of decision inside, all right? So as we can see, Broadcom shares rose by 1.6% after the NVIDIA announced a $5 billion investment in Intel. And we're going to talk about a little bit about that when we talk about NVIDIA later. Okay. But this is what I want everyone to pay attention to today. Right. So Avgo Broadcom stocks pop on Lloyd's banking deal buzz. Okay. Right. So Broadcom moved higher in early trading Thursday, helped by optimism around a new partnership with Lloyd's Banking Group. All right. Well, what is Lloyd's Banking Group? First off, let's talk about what that is. Okay. So if you don't know, Lloyd's Banking Group is. Hold on a second. Where do my notes go? Where are you? Hold on. Sorry about that. Give me a second. Trying to clear a bunch of stuff. As you guys can hear, I got a bunch of alerts going on. Sorry about that. I thought I had my notes on the side of me, but I'll find them in a minute before we go to the next ticker. But all right, so let's break down what Lloyd's is. Oh wait a second, this screen isn't showing. All right, there we go. All right, so Lloyd. So for those who are not familiar with this ticker, it's LLOY. All right, so Lloyd's is a banking group, and Lloyd's Banking Group is a financial services company which engages in the provision of banking and financial services. It operates through the following segments: retail, commercial banking, insurance, and wealth, and other. Right? I'm really curious to what that other is. So the retail segment offers broad range of financial services products, blah, 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 right? The commercial banking segment provides a range of products and services such as lending, so on and so forth. The other segment refers to income and expenditure not attributed to the group's financial reporting segments. That's pretty interesting, right? So at the end of the day, we can conclude that this is, of course, a financial institution, right? So how can they benefit, or Avgo benefit, from partnering with LLOY? Okay. Now, first, another thing I want to mention, right? This is a company that is located in London. All right. And they are trading on the London Stock Exchange, right? So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. This is not a US company. So I wanted to make sure I pointed that out. All right. Now let's go back to Avgo. Okay. AVGO. All right, make sure you guys can see this. All right, cool. We're good. Let me do it on the chat. How you doing, Aaron? Appreciate you tapping in again. What's up, Red Bull? Appreciate you tapping in. Let me look at YouTube real quick. All right, everybody's good. All right, I have to get into the habit of making sure I check in the chats before I dive deep, because I don't want to miss anybody's questions, comments, or concerns. All right. All right, so Avgo partnering up with Lloyd. Well, what actually does that mean? Well, what it simply means is that Lloyd is using Broadcom's products, right? And specifically, they are using the VMware Cloud Foundation, right? And this is for private cloud consolidation, okay? Now, this is aimed at a faster, more reliable digital banking system, right? So this is in regards to payments, excuse me, payments, loans, and everyday banking, right? You know what this kind of sort of reminds me of? XRP, right? XRP's platform is supposed to be a seamless transition or for seamless transactions on I don't know if I want to say on the blockchain, but just in general, right? So this, like I said, this kind of sort of reminds me of XRP, but nonetheless, again, this is for Lloyd's to use Avgo's products to create a faster, more reliable digital banking transaction. All right, now I'm sure each and every one of you at some point or another went to do something or tried to do some type of transaction with your bank and you had some type of issues, right? So Lloyd is looking to make those transactions a lot smoother. All right. Hey, what's up, Alika? Appreciate you tapping in. Right. So that's what Lloyd is looking to do through Avgo. All right. It's that simple. All right. We're not going to get all deep in, even though this is technical. I just want to make sure it's also understandable. All right. Very, very important. So now, how does Avgo win in this partnership? Well, a UK top tier bank extending a multi-year agreement. Well, that only shows the, what's the word I'm looking for? The strength and belief in Avgo's products, right? So if a leading banking institution in another country is using a company's product, it is safe to say that the price of that company's stock is going to rise over time, right? Because Lloyd's has around 28 million customers. So if all 28 million of those customers are satisfied with the new process because of the technology that Avgo is going to be providing, what do you think that's going to do for Avgo's share price, right? That is going to have it go up, right? As you can see, currently it's sitting at 1 point or just 0.5%, right? So this is definitely a good thing for the company. All right, it definitely ties its mainframe reliability to its modern private cloud services, right? Just think about that for a second, right? So if this works out, if this partnership works out with a financial institution based in the UK, this will definitely, or it should set a precedent for other financial institutions to partner with Broadcom, right? Do you agree? Let me get some ones in the chat if you agree. What's up, Sec? Appreciate you tapping in. If you agree, let me get some ones in the chat. All right, cool. Thank you, Dries. Just want to make sure somebody's listening. But bottom line, this partnership with Floyd is definitely going to scale digital banking, right? It's going to create a cleaner cloud foundation, especially for those 28 million clients or customers that use Lloyd. Okay. Now, this is going to be a multi-year software relationship, right? We're talking years to come, guys. We're not talking about this ending in 2025 or 2026. We're talking about years, right? Let's see if they put a timeline on this partnership. I don't remember coming across anything. Let's see. Nah, let's look at Lloyd. Let's see if there's what it says for Lloyd. I don't. Oh, here we go. Let's see. What this was yesterday. Nope. It doesn't say anything specific. All right. So, but anyway, again, it's just really more so. What's that? Oklo is going off. Oklo is on. Wow, Oklo is running. Well, and we're also going to talk about Oklo as well. But either way, again, so this is what we just went over is the benefit from Lloyd partnering with Avgo, right? It's going to create a seamless banking transaction for its 28 million or more, because I'm sure that number will grow based on this partnership. All right. So let's talk about some numbers, right? So this yellow line here represents the bottom of resistance, right? I'm sorry, support. This top line represents the top of resistance, right? So sitting right here at 365.75 on the daily, this is where resistance lies for Avgo, right? If Avgo breaks above roughly 350.98, then we're going to start to see it make that slowly but surely climb to 357.77. Now, if it breaks that 350.77, we got resistance sitting right here at 365.75. But if it falls below 343.58, right, then we have to break right here. Wait, here we go. No, it's right here actually. This is the top of support, which is around 336.20. Now, again, remember, I'm doing this from a daily perspective, okay? But right now, Avgo is consolidated, right? This is the top of consolidation sitting at 365.75. The bottom of consolidation is sitting at 341.63. All right. It is sitting at 341.63. Now, I don't know if you guys can see this, but there is also a gap. Right? So as we can see, Avgo started coming down on September 11th. And again, it's consolidated. So it may start working its way down to fill this gap. Right? So it's just really a matter of time to see if that happens. Right? Because of this new deal, it actually may come down to this level right here and reject right at 331, right? And then go right back up, all the way up to try to break out of that consolidation at 365.75, right? But if it rejects, where's that at again? Hold on a second. Which one are you? There we go, right there, right? So if it rejects 341.36, then it is going back up to attempt to break 365.75. Okay, now let's look at this from a weekly perspective. Right, lines up really, really nice. Right, how about month? Almost, but it is indeed making its way to that top of resistance, right? Because it went as high as 375.04. And when you look at Avgo's 52-week high, it's sitting at 374.23, and its 52-week low is sitting at 138.10. All right. All right. You see how that lined up really, really nice? So now it's just a matter of just being patient and letting those levels play out. Okay. What's up, Myra? Appreciate you tapping in. What's up, Lisa? Appreciate you tapping in. All right. Next, we are going to look at Hood. I know we talked about Hood last week, and Hood has definitely been on my radar. All right. All right. So what's been going on with Hood? Let's see right here. Well, it's not clicking. Hold on a second. Let's do more events. Let's see if we can, if it pops up on the screen. All right, let's talk about this one. All right, so shares of Stack, which is SKK, rise as much as 350%. All right, but this isn't the one I wanted to look at. Let's see, it's not showing it. Well, we just look at it from this perspective right here. All right. I'm sure you, hopefully you guys can see this really, really well because it's not allowing me to blow it up. But there's two things I want to talk about in regards to Robinhood today and why I am extremely bullish on Robinhood, right? So Robinhood's Kalish, or maybe Kalish powered prediction hub processed 1 billion in notional volume during Q2, contributing to a 40 million annual revenue run rate and representing 50% of Kalish's Q2 volume. Right. The next thing I want to talk about is Robinhood's Markets has partnered with Australia's Stack for a 2-year deal to provide an embedded finance solution. Well, what does all of this actually mean? So first, we're going to talk about the deal with Stack. All right. So as I mentioned, they signed a 2-year deal for services to supply embedded finance or banking technology for Robinhood's new banking offering. Okay. So how does Robinhood benefit from this? Well, using a embedded finance vendor, what exactly does that do? It shortens the build time for things like account orchestration, payments, workflows, right? It also builds an it builds like how do I explain this? It builds an everyday. No, that's not the best way to explain it. I'm trying to explain this as simple as possible. It just makes it easier for everybody to use. That would be the best way to explain it. Okay. This is going to touch almost every household, right? Because think about this for a second. Remember what we talked about in the past, and this is going to be a perfect segue right into the Kalshi. But we talked about this in the past about how they've added so many different betting options on their platform, right? So now with Robinhood looking to be kind of sort of like a financial institution, meaning from a banking perspective, they're really looking, or they're really setting themselves up as a one-stop shop. Because think about what you can do right now with Robinhood. You can trade stocks, right? You can buy shares, you can trade options, you can buy crypto. They also offer retirement products, right? You get first dibs on pre-IPOs, right? And their newest venture, you're able to bet on some things, whether it's politics, whether it's sports, right? Like, how crazy is that? And this is all being considered as, I guess what they dubbed as a predictions market hub. Because at the end of the day, are you really betting, or are you just simply predicting? Right now, even though you're paying to predict, somehow, some way, they're making it seem like it's not really classified as betting, right? Because really think about that. Now that's pretty dope, especially if you watch sports or you're heavy into politics. And now, let's say the Knicks is playing, let's say Golden State, right? And if you're a heavy Knicks fan, and the opportunity is there for you to predict the outcome and make some money by just simply clicking, okay, I'm gonna say $5 is, I'm gonna bet $10 that the Knicks is gonna come out on top. I don't know if you guys have ever looked at the Robinhood platform in regards to these predictive bets, but it's relatively simple, right? It's either you're predicting that the Knicks are going to win, or you're predicting that Golden State is going to win. It is very simple, right? There is no, you got to click this and go here and then tap that and scroll here and then click this, and then finally your bet has been placed. No, it's really simple. You see your two options and you click whichever option you prefer, and it's that simple, right? Very, very simple. Okay. So now let's dig into some prices, right? So as we can see, they're up almost 3.5% today, right? Which is absolutely amazing. I personally thought they were going to start coming down even more starting Monday, right? Because I was looking for them to come down to start to fill this gap, right? Because they have a gap right in between 107 and what's this, 106, right? So between 110 and 106, they have a nice gap, right? And this, as I mentioned before, this yellow line here is going to be the bottom of support, and the top yellow is going to be the top of resistance, right? But they have resistance sitting right here, the bottom of resistance sitting right here at 126.20, right? But Hood is consolidated, right? As you can see here, it has simply been bouncing between two price points. So in order for Hood to break out to the upside, it first has to cross 123.55, right? And the only way it is going to do that is if it breaks around 123.27. So once it breaks that and then it hits that 123.55, then we will be sitting at or working our way towards 126.50, right? Because if you have been following Robinhood, their 52-week high is sitting at 123.44, right? So let's see where that's at. So I put that alert right there just above the 52-week high. and their 52-week low, of course, is 2205. So just imagine if you got into this thing a year ago, where you would be. Okay, especially if you were holding options, you would be up thousands of percent for sure, right? But now if Hood starts to make its way and turn around, it first has to break 119.87 and then break roughly around 119.10 and then come below 116.94. And I'm hoping it definitely comes down a little bit further to hit that 114.71, which will bring it below the 10 EMA, which is what I want, right? Because then it's going to start making its way down to fill this gap. And as I mentioned in the past, if it starts to hit around that 112 area, I'm going to start looking for options to get in. Okay. All right, let's look at this on the weekly, see how it all lines up. Lines up pretty good. How about the monthly? Pretty dope, right? Pretty dope. Again, I just needed to come down to hit that gap. That's what I am looking for. All right. Because we all know what goes up must come down. This thing has been hitting highs for quite some time now, right? So it's going to have to cool off at some point. Okay. Let me check the chats real quick. Sorry, let me turn it off. Would you say little no spreads? Can you be more specific with that comment, little? I'm not sure what you mean by no spreads. All right. Next, we are going to look at Meta. And as you can see with Meta, I don't have many levels set on Meta, because Meta is really moving at its own accord for the last couple of days, especially with the introduction of their new products, right? But as you can see, based on the latest updates, they actually fell 1.8% due to worries about their rising cloud services cost after Oracle's earnings report. Now, I didn't see or hear anything about Oracle's earnings report, but it's safe to say Oracle has been having a negative impact on Meta. Okay. But what I want to focus on today is this right here. Okay. So Meta's platform is negotiating with media firms like Axel Springer, Fox Corp, and News Corp to license news content for its AI products through some talks. Though some talks are still early and may not lead to deals. Well, what does that actually mean? Now, I talked about this in my community about how it's important to stay focused, right? It is extremely to stay focused, especially nowadays with all of, whether it's political, whether it's geopolitical, whether it's just anything negative. Try your best to stay away from it, because what you have to understand, we've become such a social media driven society that we tend to get a lot of, and I'm going to put this in air quotes, truths from social media, right? They have become the newest broadcasting systems. So you got to be careful on the information that you take in, because it will influence your decisions. Not only will it influence your decisions, it will influence, not only will it influence your decision, it will also impact your family. Why? Because if you see something on social media, let's say, for example, let's say you like chocolate, right? And then you see on social media that all of a sudden chocolate is bad for your health, right? Now, guess what's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, based on the type of individual you are. You may just simply stop eating chocolate because, you know what, I didn't eat it a lot anyway, so I'll just stop eating it, right? But if you really do a deeper dive on chocolate, and I'm not going to get too deep on this, it does have a lot of, and I'm talking about raw chocolate. I'm not talking about milk chocolate. I'm talking about the raw cacao chocolate. All right. It really has a lot of health benefits. You know, you can do your own due diligence on that. But I say all that just to simply say that you got to make sure that when you are taking in this information from these now social media platforms, you got to make sure that you do your due diligence before you make any final decisions. All right. All right. So let's get back to the whole negotiating with Fox and News Corp. Well, how is this beneficial to Meta? Right. So first off, it's beneficial for the sake of intellectual property, right? So if something is being viewed, let's say for example the Meta glasses, right? If something is being viewed and talked about through the perspective of the Meta Ray-Bans, right? They are going to be looking to capitalize off of that data, right? When you were talking about Robinhood betting. Okay, yeah, you're right. There are no spreads. It's very simple. It's very straight to the point. I just wanted to answer Little's what Little was speaking about when she mentioned no spreads. So going back to Robinhood, when it comes to the predictive betting, it's just very simple. It's either they're going to win or they're going to lose, right? There really are no spreads. Okay, so you're absolutely right on that, Little. But going back to Meta, using that example of the Ray-Ban glasses, they are, and I'm almost positive on this, they are going to be looking to capitalize off of that data, right? So you got to make sure if and when you decide, especially if you're a techie, you got to make sure you do a deeper dive into the information that you are sharing through these glasses. Okay, because I've seen on a handful of platforms that, and I believe TikTok was one of them, or and I'm sure at some point in the past, a lot of them may have or still are collecting your data and telling you that they are taking your data and selling it to other people. And then not only are they selling it to other people, they are also taking your data, and they're manipulating that information as well, right? So this is why it's important. You got to read the fine print when you start tapping into these technologies, especially the newer technologies. All right. Now going back into the whole Fox and News Corp situation, right? So this will also give Meta distribution rights to license snippets, right? By way of either Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or even the Meta AI experience, which is coming by way of what? The Ray-Ban glasses, right? Okay, very, very important. So now, if this deal is struck, if they agree to this deal, this is going to be completely insane. Completely insane. Right? So just please understand that. This is going to impact the use case of Meta's platforms altogether. All right. We're talking about Facebook. Everybody loves Facebook. We're talking about Instagram. Everybody loves Instagram. We're talking about what's the other one? Threads. Everybody's been loving Threads, right? And there's the newest edition is what? Edits, right? So this is definitely going to impact Meta's price for sure, right? For sure. And just to give you a quick update on what these new Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses are going to be doing, or I'm not sure if you guys have seen the commercial or even dug deeper into it. I'm gonna just give you a brief summary on what they are, right? It's a higher end model that has a built-in augmented reality display, y'all. This has a built-in augmented reality display. Now, I've spoke to you guys in the past. Let me go into my notes, because since we're talking about AR, I talked in the past about the impact of AR, VR. So it's VR, AR, and then there's another one. Give me a second. Let me find it in my notes, but this is a great segue for that. Yes, I really do keep notes, y'all. I know you can hear my pages flipping. And I think you should too, especially when playing in this market, right? Here we go. So there's VR, there's AR, and then there's MR. So MR is a combination of both VR and AR. Okay. Now, ultimately, what this is, it is designed to engage users with a more intense interactive experience than your traditional media or than your traditional media using multiple senses, right? So be careful when you start digging deeper into this technology. All right. So again, this is going to be tapping more into the AR than it is the VR. All right. And then my guess would be the next version is going to be MR, right? That mixed reality. So it's going to be a combination of VR and AR, depending on how much data they're going to collect from this version. Right. So it's just a matter of time before we start hearing about that information. Okay. All right, let's talk some dollars. So if Meta right now, Meta is sitting right at 40, not 40, just below 1%, right? It really hasn't moved much. It really hasn't moved much about the day, throughout the day. What's up, Serge? Appreciate you tapping in. Oh, that's right. And WhatsApp. You are absolutely right. I forgot about WhatsApp. So for those who don't know, Meta owns WhatsApp as well. All right. Let's see who else joined. What's up, Debbie? What's up, Dakota? What's up, Zach? Appreciate you guys tapping in. That is absolutely right, Sergio. I appreciate you for sharing that. So again, for those of you who do not know, Meta does own WhatsApp, and I am an avid user of WhatsApp. So and I know others are as well. So again, just make sure you are paying attention when you are using this information. All right, especially if you're sharing private information. Now, I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I do understand how this world works. Right? Is anything ever really private anymore? Right? That's something we really got to start asking ourselves. Right? We've been hearing for the last year, 2, 3 years, 5 years about how we've had all of these so-called data leaks, right? But I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole. All right. So if to the downside, Meta has to break 772.83 to start to come down towards the 10 EMA sitting at 765.42. Now, if she falls below that, I can see her landing somewhere around 754.07. But to the upside, if she breaks 790.34, we're going to hit the bottom of resistance at 796.87, with the top of resistance being at 82.70. I'm sorry, 828.77. Right? Let's look at this on the weekly. See how that lines up really, really nice. So once Meta breaks that 796.87, she is going to run, right? She is going to run really, really well, right? Meta's 52-week high is sitting at 796.25 with a 52-week low of 479.80. Okay. But as we can see, that's lining up really, really nice. Same thing on the monthly, right? So again, we are doing this from a day, I'm sorry, not day trade, swing perspective. We are not talking about day trades today. All right. We're only talking about swings, right? Because I like to give you guys a mix of both. Okay. I like to give you guys a mix of both. So for those who are tapping in, I'm going to reset the room real quick. I am going over a total of 7 tickers, as you can see at the bottom of the screen. The 7 tickers I am going over so far. I've gone over Avgo, Hood, and I'm just now wrapping up Meta. Next, I will be covering Nvidia, Oklo, SPX, and then STAI, and then I will get you guys out of here. Okay. These 7 picks were chosen by the individuals in the boot camp, which is going down when starting Monday, right? So for those of you who do not know, and Stock Market Bootcamp Part 3. All right. The opportunity is still there for you to get in. All right. I had a discount code up 24 hours ago in regards to if you purchase, you were able to bring a friend for free. That's right. You heard it, for free. Okay. The discount code LOCKIN is still active. If you want to tap in, it is a huge discount. I highly advise you to take advantage of it as soon as possible, because at some point that discount will go away as well. All right. So again, make sure you tap in for the boot camp. It is going down Monday through Friday, 5 days with George truly, doing an even deeper dive into how I view this market. I will be giving individuals tips and tricks. I'm gonna show you guys something amazing when I talk about SPX today, right? SPX did something really, really nice for one of the stock market members, and I'm super, super proud of her. She has been killing it. Right. So shout outs to you for sure. All right. All right. So let's get back into it. So next we are talking about Nvidia. All right. As we can see, Nvidia ran up today. As you can see, I was looking for Nvidia to come down to fill that gap. And she did. Wait, did she? Oh, no. This was a gap. This was a gap up that she filled. That's what it was. And she came back down and filled it. So I highlighted that because I wanted to point that out, right? So she actually filled that gap up, which was sitting at. Let me make this bigger. Wait a second. Where did I see that gap? Yeah, I think she filled it already. So let me take this off. That may have been old. Yeah, I think this was old. Yeah, because she filled. Oh no, it was right there. Yeah, she did fill it. She filled it. Between Tuesday and today, actually. Yeah, because the gap was right there. So that was right. Okay. All right, but either way, let's get into some news on Nvidia. All right, as we can see, right, their stock rose 2.5% to 174.50 in pre-market trading after its 2.6 drop following China's ban on its AI chips. Right, that was that gap that I was looking to fill. Okay, that was that gap that I was looking to fill. All right. So let's dig it. Well, where did we go? So the news that everybody's been hearing about with NVIDIA in regards to Intel, right? Let's do a little deeper dive on that. Well, what has been confirmed, what has been confirmed, excuse me, is that NVIDIA and Intel has announced a multi-year collaboration, right? And Intel will design and manufacture custom x86 CPUs with NVIDIA's NVLink, right? This will help integrate into its data center AI infrastructure. Okay. All right. So, well, what is this? Right. Well, I can tell you that this is not, NVIDIA is not, I'm going to repeat this because I don't want people to, oh, Neil said this and Neil said that in regards to the x86, right? This is not NVIDIA getting an x86 license to make its own CPUs, right? This is going to be a Intel designed 86 x86 this specifically is going to be designed by Intel. Okay, they are doing this for NVIDIA. Okay, so I want to make sure that I clarify that. All right, this is solely going to be on Intel. All right, very, very important. Now, even though they are going to be using the NVIDIA's NVLink, and it's going to be sold as part of NVIDIA's platforms, but this is only an Intel designed x86 product, right? It's going to be built by Intel. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out, right? Let me do another quick check-in on the chat. What's up, Miss Yaz? Appreciate you tapping in. All right. What else? We're talking about the 86. Oh, so, well, why is this beneficial to NVIDIA? Right? Why is this beneficial to NVIDIA? Well, when it comes to platform control and performance, this creates a nice tight couple between CPUs and GPUs, right? Over the NVLink. Now, I'm not going to get all technical with this, but I just want to give you a general idea on how this is going to benefit NVIDIA over the next couple of years as they continue to innovate in the tech space, as they continue to innovate with all of their products. Okay? I'm just trying to paint a picture for you. All right. So I'm not going to get too technical in regards to like, all right, well, what does an NVLink actually do? Or what are going to be the capabilities of an x86, right? I just want to give you the basis on why this data is going to make the price of NVIDIA shares go higher and higher and higher and higher. Okay. So that is the purpose of this. All right. So we talked about the benefits for NVIDIA. Now let's talk about the benefits for Intel, right? This is going to create a top-tier partnership, right? A top-tier partnership because they are creating these customs x86, right? Just think about, let's say, for example, if you were a foodie, right? And you were able to partner with one of the highest customer-based restaurant in the U.S. Right? The audio is choppy. Hold on a second. Give me a second. Let me see if I can adjust that. How about now? Is that better? It could be I had the mic relatively far away from me. Let me know if that's better, Deb, because I know you're on YouTube. So let me know. Just give me a quick while in, and I'll because I want to make sure everybody can hear me really well. How about you guys on Instagram? You guys are good? Just let me know real quick. Because what you may be hearing is the fan, the computer fan, and this mic really picks up pretty much everything. So that may be what the interruption is. So I just had to move it closer. Move it a little bit more closer. All right, so Sergio said it sounds good. All right, cool. All right. Now I don't want to get too close, and it sounds like I'm yelling. All right. All right. So again, so how does Intel benefit from this? Well, they're going to be getting their custom 86 products into what? Well, it's the hottest data centers on the market, right? Anything that NVIDIA is going to be tied to that is going to require this x86 products, well, that's a win-win for Intel, right? First off, let's quickly see how this has actually impacted Intel's price. Look at that. They're up 28%, y'all. They're up 28%. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. If you were paying attention to, I want to say about 2 weeks ago, that's when I first heard the news, or maybe a little bit longer, but I heard the news about NVIDIA having talks with Intel. Now, me personally, because I've been so busy, I didn't position myself and to take a part of this run up. And also, I really didn't talk about it because when I saw the news, it was really more so like, oh, that's dope, right? It didn't even dawn on to me to start to position myself, right? But again, this is why I keep stressing why it's important to make sure you pay attention to what's going on in the streets so you can make those informed decisions on the inside, right? All right, so there's another thing I also want to point out when it comes to NVIDIA, right? This right here. Is it that one? Wait, no, where is it? Hold on a second. I'm going to maybe some more events. Let's see. Because it was also something I was looking at. So NVIDIA actually is investing or has invested $500 million into Reflection AI. Trying to figure out where did I see that? I can't find the article, but I know I saw it on TradingView. Is it this one? No, that's not it. All right, but either way, so NVIDIA has invested $500 million in Reflection AI, right? So Reflection AI is competition to DeepSeek, right? I don't know if you guys remember I believe it was really more so at the beginning of the year when DeepSeek came out, interrupted the whole Chat GPT. Like everybody just went crazy. It caused Nvidia stock to drop like somebody tied an anchor to it, right? It was completely insane. Completely insane. Right? So this is going to be their rival, right? I really wish I would have saved that article so you guys can see a little bit more detail on what it was referring to. All right. But either way, going back to the digging a little deeper on the whole reflection AI thing, right? So now it hasn't been finalized yet, but again, once it's finalized, this will indeed fit NVIDIA's pattern of positioning themselves to create more and more and more opportunities in this AI race, right? This will definitely support a long run demand for NVIDIA to be on top, or well, to remain on top. Okay. This is going to be crazy, right? But like I said, it hasn't been finalized. It's just in talks. Right. I really wish I can show you guys that article. But either way, with this deal coupled with Intel's deal, where do you think that's going to take NVIDIA? Right? NVIDIA's 52-week high is sitting at 184.48 with a 52-week low of 86.62. And I know y'all remember when NVIDIA was sitting in them 80s and 90s, because I know I sure played some options on them. Right? But looking at this from a daily perspective, NVIDIA is consolidated. Right? She's consolidated between 180.23 and 166.71. Right? Now, the dope part about it, she is on the move to the upside. Then she first would have to cross that 178.72. Well, actually, because she's pretty stagnant right now, sitting where she's at, right around 160. I'm sorry, 176.20. Right? It seems like she's struggling in that area, which is sitting right at the 10 EMA, or I'm sorry, just higher than the 10 EMA and the 20 EMA. Right? So we need to get a little bit more momentum to push NVIDIA above, just a little bit above, roughly around 176.86. So if it crosses that 176.80, actually 176.85, then we are going to hit that 178.72, which is going to put us at the top of consolidation at 180.23. Okay. All right. The top of resistance is sitting at 189.26. But of course, if NVIDIA falls below 172.99 and then hits that 170.50, she's going to start making her way to the bottom of consolidation at 166.71. And if she breaks that, she will land at 163.39 and then 161.99, breaking the bottom of support at 160.81. All right, let's look at this on the weekly. Lines up really nice. Let's look at the monthly just as well, right? But to the upside, in order for her to break that support, that resistance, she got to break that 184.34. All right. Right there, 184.34. Look how that lined up really, really nice. All right. All right, what's up next? Next, we got Oklo, AKLO, and then we have SPX followed by STAI. And I know this one's going long today, right? But again, today's live is dedicated to, I'm sorry, sponsored by who? Right? All right, now let's dig into Oklo. Let's dig into Oklo. Now, there has been a lot of talk about Oklo, right? Oklo has hit, Oklo's previous 52-week high was 102.18 with a low of $6.08. She flew right past that, sitting at 107 and some change, up almost 13% today. Man, oh man. If you are holding Oklo shares, if you are holding Oklo options, man, kudos to you. Kudos to you. Man, oh man, right? Super happy for you because you are indeed killing it, right? Let's see what's going on with Oklo today. I really didn't find any new news going on with Oklo. So I'm not going to do a deep dive when it comes to any updates because I really didn't find any updates. But for those who don't know anything about Oklo, well, let's take a look at Oklo. All right, so Oklo engages in the development of fission reactors. It provides clean energy through a design and deployment of fast fission power plants. This company was founded by Jacob DeWitt and Caroline Cochran in 2013, right? How dope is that, right? So this company's been around since 2013, y'all. And nobody paid these guys any mind back then, right? How crazy is that? All right, let's go back to the chart. Make sure you guys can see that. All right, cool. Now, for those who don't know what fission is, right? So we're talking from a nuclear standpoint, right? So nuclear fission is when a heavy atomic nucleus, like uranium or plutonium, it splits into two similar nuclei after absorbing a neutron. Right now, I'm not going to get too deep on this and too technical with this. I just want to give you a general idea on what nuclear fission is, right? So when it does this, there is a type of energy release, right? So when this energy is released, it creates a binding, what is called a binding energy nucleon, right? So when this fusion takes place, the end result is a binding energy nucleon. Okay. You just got to do your own due diligence on this. This is not my area of expertise. I'm just simply giving you an idea on what fission is. Right? If you haven't been paying attention to what this administration has been focused on, and nuclear energy has been one of them, right? And Oklo seems to be the leader in this space, which is why we have Oklo moving the way she is moving, right? Now, with her hitting a 52-week high today, we already know at some point she is going to have to cool off, right? That is without a doubt. She is going to have to cool off, right? Now, her cooling off would require her to fall below 95.90 on the daily in order to come down to 93.24, which was going to put her around 89.95, which is right above that 10 EMA, right? But if buyers keep coming in, right, she is sitting almost above her average 30-day volume, which is at 14.32. Right now, she's at 14.03. Man, oh man, oh man. Right? She is doing something strange for a piece of change. That is for sure. Right? That is for sure. So I really don't have any upside. I don't have an upside perspective because she's already hit a 52-week high. Her original 52-week high, as I mentioned, she was sitting at 102.18, right? So she has gone up dramatically since then, right? So I will give my perspective once she begins to cool off. But if she starts to come back down, we will have to be patient and see if she falls past that 95.90. All right. All right. Next, let's look at SPX. Now, I got to say this, y'all. I got emotional earlier. Yes, I'm being a little vulnerable right now. Yes, as a man, I can admit it. Because I am super proud of the community of individuals that are tapped in with me. I really am. They have been killing it, y'all. They have been killing it. So shout out to you guys. Shout out to each and every one of you in the Market Gainers community. You guys have been smoking. All right. I had a really tense conversation with them earlier about how they are worth it. And I know some of you are on here. You are worth it. Don't ever let anybody convince you otherwise. I'm telling you, the proof is in the pudding. You guys have been taking gains in this market since we've been tapped in with each other. And I'm super duper proud of you. Super duper proud of you. I am at a loss for words. And all I ever did was help you get out of your way. And that's what I do in the stock market boot camp, guys. I just help you get out of your way. And once you get out of your way, the gains are unlimited. I promise you. The gains are unlimited. We go over everything from soup to nuts when it comes to how to take gains out of this market. And just off of one small piece of information that I shared with everybody in the boot camp, and that I will be sharing with everybody in the up boot camp. We got that alert. Hood is moving. Hood is moving to the upside. But this one small piece of information that I have shared with everybody in the past boot camp, and don't worry, guys, I will be sharing with you as well in the next week in the up and coming boot camp. They have taken full advantage of this information and have been killing it. So there's no way you can convince me that you're not worth it, because you are doing this on your own. You're doing this without having a conversation with anybody. You're waking up, you're looking at the market, you are positioning yourself to take these gains. And this was all done through what I call the CCC format, that is clarity, confidence, and control, which is ultimately going to lead you to have market independence. And you guys are a true example, or have become a true example on what market independence is. And I'm super, super proud of you. Keep going. Don't you ever stop. All right? Don't you ever stop. You remember playing what was it? What were you playing? Oklo when it was 35 cents a share? I mean, I'm sorry, 35 cents, $35 a share. I remember playing it. I think we probably was playing it around the same time, Yaz. Because I remember taking gains from Oklo in the past as well. Oh, so let me go back to Hood real quick because Hood looks like she broke out of consolidation. And she did. Consolidation was sitting at, or actually, see, she may reject because consolidation was sitting at 123.55. So she may start coming down now. We'll see. Time will tell. But she did break that consolidation. So we're going to see how she runs up after that. But going back to SPX. Whoops. All right. So for all of my SPX players, right, if you are new to the market, please stay away from SPX. SPX moves in dollars, as you can see, right? She's only up less than 1% and is up $47. So please be careful if you do not know how to play SPX. This is not for the weak. All right. I personally lost. Well, let me backtrack. I personally misplaced 15K learning how to play SPX. Now I use the term misplaced because why? I got it all back once I understood how to play her. Right? So again, for those of you who are new to the market, please stay away from SPX. Okay? She will hurt you. All right? She will hurt you. All right? She will make you not want to play in this market ever again. All right? All right, so right now it's sitting at 66.47. If she breaks above 66.58, we are going to land right here at resistance at 66.82, right? This is also an all-time high, right? She has also hit an all-time high. That all-time high is 66.56.80 with an all-time low of 48.35.04. Now, I believe that I believe that 52-week high came today. Let me just double check. Yep, that was today. SPX hit a 52-week high today. All right. So you know what that means. At some point, she is going to have to come down, right? Because we saw it right here. She hit a 52-week high right there, came down, right? So at some point, she is going to have to cool off. That's the beauty about the market. It'll run, and the more it runs, the more tired it's going to become, right? As she becomes tired, she's going to have to sit down. At some point, she's going to have to sit down. And when she sits down, she coming down below 66.08. And then she's going to come a little bit lower to 65.87, which is going to have us right above that 10 EMA, which may bring her down to 65.49. But this area right here, that's sitting right above the TMA, that is going to be key. If she breaks that, she's coming down. All right. So, again, for you new traders that are on here tapping in with me, please stay away from SPX. She will hurt your feelings, and she will hurt your feelings really, really bad. I found that out the hard way. Okay. You're absolutely right, Yaz. You used to clean house with it. I believe you're talking about Oklo, right? All right. So last but not least, and I appreciate you guys still being tapped in with me because this is running longer. But again, as if for those who are just joining us, I am only talking about tickers that were given by the individuals that are officially tapped in with the Stock Market Bootcamp Part 3. If you're looking to take advantage of being a part of the Stock Market Bootcamp Part 3, make sure you click the link in my bio. We are going, and we'll be wrapping it up on Friday. The link is in the bio. All of the information I share with you guys in the bootcamp will be recorded. So if you're concerned about missing a day or two, you do not have to worry. The information is loaded right after the class. All right. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I will be sharing all kinds of tips, tricks, and insights on how I personally take gains out of this market on a daily basis. Now, I haven't been playing as hard as I normally do because I've been so dedicated to making sure that this boot camp is a nice, smooth, informative, chock full of nuts, tips, tricks, and all kinds of information to help you take the gains out of this market. And I'm telling you guys, that one tip has been helping everybody that has been tapped in win on a consistent basis. Consistency is what we're looking for, guys. Because as I said to you guys in the past, every time I talk to you guys about this market, it doesn't care how smart you sound. It only cares how disciplined you are. That's it. And if you're disciplined enough, coupled with the information that I share with you in this boot camp, listen, what they're going to tell you, there ain't nothing they can tell you, right? And I break everything down from candles to time frames to options to stop losses to Greeks, you name it. And then I wrap it up by showing you how I evaluate a company, as well as all of the resources that I use to help make decisions on when and how to play and why I should play in this market. Okay. Again, the link is in my bio. Use discount code LOCKIN, lock in. Okay. All right. Last but not least, let's look at STAI. All right. So Scantech AI Systems. All right. Currently sitting at 47 cents. Okay. So for those who are not familiar with Scantech AI, well, let's see who they are. Well, Scantech AI Systems engages in the innovation, emerging technology, and machine learning expertise. Scantech specializes in developing advanced screening technology that provides the most accurate and fastest detection of prohibited materials. This company was created in 2023. Okay. Very simple, very straightforward. Okay. But let's dig a little deeper. Okay. Let's dig a little deeper. Right. I came across this news earlier. Right. So Scantech AI Systems files its Q2 2025 Form 10Q, achieving a milestone in its comprehensive NASDAQ compliance plan. Well, what is a Q2? Well, to sum it up in a nutshell, first off, if you ever want to look at this information, you just got to go to the SEC website. All right. That's number one. Okay. That is number one. You got to go to the source. All right. Now, the Q2 form is just simply, it's a form that companies have to fill out in regards to their earnings. All right. well, maybe not necessarily earnings, but just for a matter of just being in compliance. All right. This is something that has to be filed every quarter. Okay. This is something that has to be filed every single quarter. Now, what this does, it updates investors on their cash, liabilities, their operating progress, right? Because this information will impact their valuation. So this is why they have to report this information every quarter. Okay. So now this is a milestone for them, because they've been doing really, really well. Okay. Now I'm not sure what their market cap, but I can tell you this: their 52-week high is 12.19, and their 52-week low is 35 cents. That's all I'm gonna say. Their 52-week high is $12.19, with a 52-week low of 35 cents. Right? If buyers keep piling in, they are going to hit 52 cents. And if they break 52 cents, they're going to be sitting right at the 50 EMA at 55 cents. And if it breaks that 55 cents, it's going to hit 64 cents, which is right here at the top of resistance. And if they break that, they're going to land around 83 cents. They're going to land around 83 cents. Did you guys hear me? So from 47 to 83 cents. Right now, their market cap is 27.9 million. Their average volume is 4.85 million. Today's volume is 2.05 million. This isn't a short-term play, y'all. This is a long-term play. This is a 2027 play. A 2027 play. And what sucks is that there are no options available. So right now, all you can do is buy shares. But man, I'm sure once they hit above $1, they may open up the options for them. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it. But I can tell you this: when they open up the options, best believe I'll probably be one of the first ones in. Best believe, right? But they are up 7.5% today, almost 7.5%. Now let's dig a little deeper on what Scantech AI Systems is best known for, right? They are a AI threat detection company. They use that high security checkpoints, right? So don't be surprised if this is the technology that is used in the airports or embassies or in court systems or in what's another one? Yeah, I think that would be it. Right? So I'm gonna say that again. They are used at high security checkpoints, whether it's for baggages, whether it's explosives, narcotics, weapons. and it detects this information at a high rate, right? Well, not really a high rate. I would really more say a high resolution. So this is indeed, from my opinion, something to look into. For sure. For sure. All right, now let's talk some numbers. All right, so if it breaks roughly around 49.26, then we are going to hit 52 cents, followed by 55 cents. If it breaks that 64 cents, we are going to land at 83 cents. But to the downside, if it falls below 43 cents, we're going to land somewhere around 35, with the bottom of support being at 31 cents. All right. All right. So there you have it, folks. There you have it. What's up, man? Jack, appreciate you tapping in. All right, just to do a quick recap. We went over a total of 7 tickers today. We went over Hood, Avgo, Meta, NVIDIA, Oklo, SPX, and STAI. With Avgo, we talked about their partnership with Lloyd's Banking Group, which has caused the stock to move. Meta, we talked about, I'm sorry, I'm going to do this in alphabetical order. We talked about Hood in regards to Stack, as well as their Kalish or Kalshi power prediction markets. Then we talked about Meta in regards to the licensing talks with Fox Corp and News Corp, as well as the new Meta Ray-Ban smart glasses. Talked about NVIDIA and how Intel is going to be designing and manufacturing their custom 86 CPUs. We also talked about their potential $500 million investment in Reflection AI, which is going to help them compete against DeepSeek. Then we went on and talked about Oklo, followed by SPX. And for those who are not familiar with Oklo, this is the nuclear fission company. And if you haven't been tapped in with this administration, they are big on nuclear energy. We also went over SPX. And then we wrapped it up with STAI. Okay. We wrapped it up with STAI. And again, if you're not familiar with STAI, this is a AI threat detection company that can automatically detect, locate, and classify hazardous materials and contraband, such as explosives, weapons, narcotics. And this is all done rapidly at a high resolution. All right. Whew. I know today was long. So if you've been locked in since 11:15, I truly appreciate you. I truly appreciate you. Because we definitely we ran today. We ran today for sure. We ran today for sure. Right? So before we get out of here, anybody got any questions in regards to any of the tickers we talked about? Right, I'm not going to look at any other tickers. Right, I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. Right, again, I want to remind you, the boot camp is going down next, starting Monday. Okay. If you're looking to lock in, use the discount code LOCKIN. This is a heavy discount. I will not be adding any more discounts. The last discount I added, it gave individuals the opportunity at a discounted price to tap in and bring someone for free. Yes, you heard it. FREE. You were able to get in with whether it was your significant other or whether it was a friend. But either way, you were able to get in with someone you want to see win. And I can confidently say that after this boot camp, you are going to win. And why I believe this so much? Because the individuals that have gone through this have showed me day in and day out that they are winning. So if you are still struggling in this market, there's no reason for you to do that any longer. Just tap in and I will get you right. All right. So again, the link is in my bio. Use the discount code LOCKIN. All right. Now, what do you guys think? Do you guys think I should bring back the buy one, bring one discount? Let me know in the comments. Because if this is, I'm doing this for you guys. I really want you guys to understand. I'm doing this for you guys. I want to see you win. I want to see you take those gains. Because that's all that matters at the end of the day. That you are building a solid foundation for you and your family for the future. I keep saying it. 2027, 2028 is right around the corner. It's going to be here before you know it. And if you're looking at the trajectory of what this administration is driving this country, if you ain't ready, I really don't know what to say. But you got to start at some point. And your opportunity is with the boot camp. There's no reason whatsoever that in this day and age, that individuals should still be struggling in this market. And the only way they are is because they're not taking the time to either educate themselves or to be educated. But at some point, you are going to have to invest in yourself to make this happen. All right. So again, the link is in my bio. Use discount code LOCKIN. All right. And again, if anybody wants me to bring back the buy one, bring one, just simply let me know. I don't have a problem doing it because I'm going to get you guys in. I want to see you guys win. Right. And this is real for me. Like this is, if any and everybody that knows me, they know how passionate I am about this. And it's all about the impact for me. Okay. So with that said, if today's live added value, please make sure you stay tuned and locked in with this content. I go live each Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday has been dubbed as Tactical Tuesday. That's where I give you all of the information when you can arm yourselves for the week. And then on Thursday, Technical Thursday, I just get a little bit more technical. Okay. Now, as a reminder for everybody that's on here and everybody likes to tune in for Tuesdays and Thursdays, I will not be live next week. My focus will be on the boot camp. Okay. So I repeat, I will not be live next week as my focus will be on the boot camp. I got to make sure I give these guys 150% of my time as well as me. All right. So very, very important. I don't want you guys hit me in the DMs like, yo, what's up? Why you not going live? Well, this is why. Okay. So I just want to make sure you guys know that. So again, remember, the market doesn't care how smart you sound. It only rewards how disciplined you are. All right. I keep saying this. We could sit here and talk technicals all day long, but if you don't have the discipline to position yourself to take these gains, then it's all for what, right? We can have amazing conversations about the technical, not the technicals all day long. It doesn't matter if you're not disciplined, all right? And that's one of the things I help structure in the boot camp. All right. So as always, protect your capital because you will need it if you plan to trade in the future. Knowledge is power, but execution is capital. I will see you guys not next week, but the following. All right. Take care.